Mr. Malik, what's your reaction to this arrangement between the MNS and the BJP?
I think always BJP is the weaker partner of their alliance. The Shiv Sena in the state is becoming weaker every day. That's why they strictly don't want to ditch them, but tactful alliance is there with MNS, and Mr. Raj Thackery is working as an ambassador of Gujarat. Ambassador of Modi is not new. Always he goes there, he become a state guest. There is a tactful alliance between the MNS and BJP, but openly they cannot announce because it will hurt them, or it will be a loss-making deal in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. That's why they are doing this tactful dealing.
All right. Mr. Malik, if you can hang on for just a second, because as we have Mr. Rahul Narvekar also on the phone line with us. Sir, Nawab Malik of the NCP is saying that the reason the BJP is now looking at the MNS is because your party is weak in Maharashtra.
Well, time will tell who's weak in Maharashtra. The NCP first should look into their own house. They should set their house in order. Most of the poll projections have shown them to be in a single digit, worse half of what their tally has been in the last election. So I think they should be more worried about themselves.
Why do you think you're... Yes, go ahead.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
Insofar as the Shiv Sena is concerned, we can assure that our figures will be better than what it was in the last Lok Sabha elections. And 16th of May, we'll know who stands where.
All right, you make that point, and it's a fair point. At the same time, why do you believe the BJP is looking at the MNS? Your party leader certainly isn't happy with that.
Well, is it? Is the BJP looking at the
We know
MNS?
that there was a meeting between Nitin Gadkari and Mr. Raj Thackery.
Well, Mr. Nitin Gadkari's meeting with Mr. Raj Thackeray was a personal meeting that has already been clarified. Insofar as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, their stand has been clarified unequivocally, absolutely clearly on several occasions. The alliance with regards to Shiv Sena Bharatiya Janata Party is a strong alliance for the last over 25 years. It will remain to be a strong alliance in time to come. And with regards to who should join or who should not join the NDA is a matter which will be discussed within the NDA, and a collective decision will be taken. No individual party or entity or stakeholder will take this call individually.
All right. Since you've made that point, I want to ask you another question, which is, given that Raj Thackeray has now declared his support for Narendra Modi and after the elections are over and done with, he's not going to do this for, out of any altruistic feelings over here. He wants something out of it, and that something is going to come out of your pocket, wouldn't it?
No, why would anything come out? The MNS as an outfit is free to make any decision and support whoever they want to. That does not in any manner change the equation politically within the NDA. So why should it burn our pocket?
So you believe that Raj Thackeray is not going to ask for any favors or his proverbial pound of flesh?
Well, what Raj Thackeray asks for and what is given to Raj Thackeray is something which the person who's asking for and the person who's giving have to decide. How can we play a role in that?
Well, you said that the NDA would take a collective decision. That's why I'm asking you.
No, collective decision won't be taken over news channels. It will be taken by the steering committee of the NDA.
All right, fair enough. Rahul Narvekar, many thanks for giving us your thoughts on this story, a developing story. Nawab Malik of the NCP is still there with us. Mr. Malik, you were hearing what Rahul Narvekar said. You mentioned that the Shiv Sena appears weak. What do you make of what he said?
Basically, he will not accept that they are going to be a weakened partner of the Bharatiya Janata Party. But BJP understands the situation. BJP knows the people of the Maharashtra. They don't want to be with Shiv Sena. They think the MNS can be a stronger partner. That's why they are having a tactful alliance with MNS. Here they are not announcing, but because of they are going to get some loss in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. That's why there is a tactful alliance with MNS in the Maharashtra with BJP. In the many of the seats, they want to damage the Shiv Sena seat. And I think they will support in a BJP stronghold areas. This kind of a tactful alliance is beneficiary for the Bharatiya Janata Party. That's why they are doing this kind of a thing.
The other side to this was what Rahul Narvekar said about, what the polls are saying about your alliance in Maharashtra. And it is true, you're not looking very good ahead of the elections.
See, our alliance, we are very hopeful in the Maharashtra in 1998 when there was a government of Shiv Sena Bharatiya Janata Party. We fought election and we got 38 out of 48. This time situation is far better. We'll get near about 38 to 40 seats in the Maharashtra. Let us see. On 16 we'll see that.
All right, fair enough. We will wait and see on the 16th of May as both the NCP and Shiv Sena have put it. But certainly the cat is among the pigeons. Raj Thackeray declaring his support for Narendra Modi. That's got the Shiv Sena worried, and certainly the ruling alliance in Maharashtra worried as well. Now, let's listen into what Raj Thackeray said earlier when he announced that support for the BJP Prime Ministerial candidate.
आणि हे जे खासदार आपले निवडून येतील ते पंतप्रधान म्हणून नरेंद्र मोदींना पाठिंबा इथे देतील. झाले पाहिजेत याच्यासाठी म्हणून मागे जे खासदार सगळे जे निवडून येतील ते नरेंद्र मोदींना पाठिंबा देतील. त्यांच्या देशाच्या भविष्यासाठी म्हणून हे सगळे जण त्यांना सहकार्य करतील. आपण देखील या निवडणुकीमध्ये सर्वांनी कुठेही एक मिनिट गाफील न राहता आपण सर्वांनी कामाला लागावं अशी मी सर्वांजवळ मी अपेक्षा व्यक्त करतो.
Sanjay Jha of the Congress is with us on the phone line right now. Mr. Jha, the Raj Thackeray over there announcing his support for Narendra Modi if any of his candidates win during the Lok Sabha elections. What do you make of that?
Well, he's got his democratic right to, any decision on behalf of his party. But the truth is that the MNS really hasn't been able to make any impact on the Lok Sabha elections. And I think it just tells you that there's a very troubled relationship currently between the Bharatiya Janata Party and their traditional partner, the Shiv Sena. The Shiv Sena has been vocal in expressing their displeasure at the attempt by Mr. Nitin Gadkari, who is the BJP president, to try and convince Mr. Raj Thackeray not to fight the election. And the fact that the BJP is, on very weak ground or slippery terrain is obvious from the fact that they have to tell one party to fight the elections. Now, I'm sure that, Mr. Raj Thackeray possibly would agree to it, which I believe he hasn't. But the fact that the MNS is apparently said that they support Mr. Modi clearly tells you that there are some serious differences between the Shiv Sena and the Bharatiya Janata Party today.
Which suits you just fine as far as the Shiv Sena and the BJP goes. But having said that, Raj Thackeray certainly has a bit of momentum behind him. His acceptance by the BJP is probably taking that into account.
But let me tell you, essentially, the key that we got to keep in mind is that the MNS and the BJP and the Shiv Sena are rivals. They are rivals fighting for the same space. You see, that is the point that you need to understand, that their ideology is similar, the beliefs are similar, the leadership styles are similar. They have the same attitude towards, from North India coming in. They are very identity-based. So if they are fighting for the same space, they are actually really competing for the same constituency. Mm-hmm. Therefore, I believe there must be a huge level of anxiety and, perhaps even anger in the Shiv Sena. Because if the MNS is saying what it is saying, definitely the BJP is playing politics with both the MNS and the Shiv Sena. And I think it is happening because, you see, end of the day, BJP is still politically very insecure in Maharashtra. Maharashtra has traditionally been a very, very strong Congress bastion. We've always done well. We will do well again in 2014. And I do believe that, therefore, the BJP is, fishing in all kinds of waters.
Sanjay Jha, the Congress, thank you very much for speaking to Headlines today this afternoon.